Hello everyone and welcome to another Kirby Fighters 2 guide. In the last guide video I went over Artist, which is my main, and I decided to put them in top tier. By the way, if you disagree with the rankings, feel free to put it in the comments, like an argument for instance, Artist being something that isn't top tier. I personally think Artist is top tier. It's really good. So anyway, in this video I'm going to be, of course, going over a different character, and that character is going to be Sword. If you want to request a character, then do it in the comments, otherwise I'll just go in character order. I started with Artist because I'm main Artist, and it was a good place to start. So, let's look at Sword's moveset. Sword has 3 pages, quite a bit more than Artist. So just go through this one by one. Overhead slash and multi-sword attack are technically the same moves. You have overhead slash, which is this, and multi-sword attack, which is that. And I believe there is a third one that is part of this. But it's not noted here, but there is a final slash, which is not here anywhere, but it does exist, and it does propel you forward a bit. Now you can't do this in mid-air, because you just get this, or if you're dashing you get that. So this is a grounded only move, but it's a solid, quick move that does decent damage. It does 37, which is quite good damage for an attack that just does that. So, that is the first thing about Sword. That's already one move down. There's not really many other uses for this move because you can't do it while falling, because it is not an aerial move. Now we have Drill, Stab, and Sword Spin. Actually no, not Drill Stab yet. Let's do Sword Spin first, because Drill Stab I'll link in with some other moves. So this is Sword Spin. This is one of Sword's best moves. It's extremely spammable, as you can see. It doesn't do much, only doing 10. But it's relatively safe. Like, if you miss it, you're not going to get punished much. Because, like, they can just do another one. Or, like, you can go Drill Stab, but it's not as fast. Like, none of these moves are, like, the speed. It can link into a Drill Stab, though, with, like, something like this, which does large amounts of damage, because Drill Stab is really good. I may as well just get the kill and reset. So, that's another move down. Sword Spin. It's really good. A move that isn't good is this. It does 14, slightly more than Sword Spin, and you bounce off your opponent. That's not the move. It doesn't really do much of anything. You're almost always going to want to just Sword Spin instead. It lasts way longer. Well, they actually can both last quite a long time if you hold this one. But it just has way more range. Like, you can immediately start charging Spin Attack from this one, but you can do it from, like, you can do this. If they don't move, they get hit by it. Now, it's very easy to dodge, and it's kind of like a one-trick thing, but it exists. Like, it's something that you theoretically can do. It just doesn't do much. Now we have Hat Thrust, which is that move, I believe. I don't really understand what it does. Oh! It's actually a chop and thrust, but it has the idea of chop and thrust in mind. See, chop and thrust is kind of meant for you to bounce off, but if you use hat thrust, you can literally bounce off. You can also cancel it by jumping. But the annoying thing is that you have to initiate chop and thrust first, and then hold down while still holding B. Do hat thrust. You cannot cancel it with an air dodge though. At least I don't think you can. Let's try that. If I can initiate the move. No, it doesn't seem like it. No air dodge cancelling hat thrust. So just use hat thrust if you're going to use chop and thrust. If you're looking for a quicker landing option, down thrust is what you're looking for. 24 damage if it lands properly. If it lands like the sour area, it only does like 10, but if you land the sweet area, it does. Like, you could go 1, 2, down, if you want to mix up your opponent and they think that they can just get out of your thing. It's quite a dependable tool, like when you're up here, you can just kind of go down thrust. And you can go into a charged spin attack, so you can't really, like, be challenged when you land because you're charging spin attack. So that's also very helpful. Just like downward thrust, charge, spin attack. So, this is an extremely short video so far, because there's just not enough to talk about with these moves. They're not as good as like artists' moves. So anyway, now we get to the main part of what makes Sword good. CPU 2 on 190 health. Oh, come on. It missed. CPU 2 on 176 health. 132. 44 damage. This is ridiculous. If you're wondering what I'm doing, side B, up B, down B. Or in other words, drill stab into upward slash into sword dive, which is a move you can only do with down B after upward slash. There's no need to go over these moves on their own. You will only ever chain them into each other. If you land a drill stab, always chain it into upward slash, which then goes into sword dive. If you just land a stray upward slash, chain it into sword dive, and don't do what I'm doing. Don't do that. Wait until the end of the move till you get more damage. Oops, I did that. Like, look, that didn't kill, even though we know it does over 40 damage. If you don't hold the moves, it will only do like 20. But don't hold it too long, otherwise they'll fly out. So you go like just to the point where they can't escape, but it gets all the hits in. You should not be chucking these out in neutral. Also, if they land on the tip of the sword, I don't believe they actually, like, get hit by the combo. Yeah. So you can only use it when they're really close to you. But if you break someone's guard, it's a great thing to do on them. Because Drill Stab itself is quite quick, and it's a free 40 damage. You could also charge Spin Attack, but that, while also doing like 40-ish, sometimes they will get out of the stun before you finish the charge. Speaking of which, we have one of, if not the best charge moves in the game, Spin Attack. What's it actually called? Why have we got a move called Sword Spin, and then a move called Spin Slash? It's called Spin Slash. I'm calling it Spin Attack. I might call it Spin Slash. The Spin Slash is amazing. It's so quick to charge. Now you're wondering about Twister Slash. That is if you hold up while doing it. It will fly you into the air. And it is really good at catching aerial heavy abilities. For instance, I can't think of any right now. Wrestler likes to land on you from above with its stupid multi-kick attack. You can just kind of go, no. Like, Staff likes to just pogo everywhere. You can just get up there and ignore it. Even though it would probably be better to do upward slash into Sword Dive. I knew the name of that move. Okay, one move left. Sky Energy Sword. Hold up, and it will give you a beam that will activate on that overhead slash. Chop and thrust. Not on this, which is amazing. You do not want it to be activating on this. And also, normally when you go to do a spin attack, you will release your beam. Having a beam charged at all times is quite good at sword. And the great thing about the fact that sword spin doesn't shoot the beam is that you can charge spin attack without shooting the beam. Because chop and thrust shoots the beam, and overhead slash shoots the beam, so it's great to have a way to be able to use your super fast charge move without using your beam. They also don't use the beam, which is great, because you can still do your broken combo. And then you can shoot your beam, which only does 8, but that can... What was that? That can add up over a match. Why is the hitbox so bad on that? Is it because the hat doesn't actually have a hurt box? But anyway, that is basically it for Sword's moveset. So, instead of pausing, I should actually... Oh wait, you do pause. I am, of course, like in the last video, going to demonstrate these tips in single-handed mode. Let's do easy, for the sake of this video not going on forever. Childish Parasol first. So at the beginning of every match, like if you're playing against someone else, try and keep a bean charged at the beginning of every match. I'm going to show you these combos actually work. See? Oh, go away with the healing items. Now, if I am able to actually combo him across the stage with this, it would be good. I'm not going for time on this, I'm going for demonstrating the tips, which is why that took 35 seconds. I'm not using Meta Knight, thank you. Oh, come on. This stupid stage. I hate it. Oh. Since I hate this stage so much, I'm not even going to bother with the sword tips. Just get... You can turn that around. Forgot to mention that. There. That's probably the best way to use a crackler if you play with items on. Just like, get them against the wall and start randomly jumping while changing what direction you're looking. It's quite good. Now it's time to go against 2. As you can see, I landed an upward slash there, so I immediately comboed it into the sword dive, which I definitely remember the name of. I'll get the bomber out of here. As you can see in neutral, I'm just trying to use a lot of like sword spins and not get hit by the hand. Okay, that works. Just in neutral, just try to use your sword spins a lot. Your beams a lot, just try and keep them away. When they try to run in, you can finally get your side B. It's just as simple as that for sword. Sword's neutral is not complex in the slightest. The only complex thing is when to shoot your beam. And for most of it, it's just this. And then you get the stupid items because of single-handed mode. Get that away. I hate single-handed mode sometimes. Go away with these cracklers. Full combo there. Sword. Oh, crackler then. Get out of here, jab. Just get that out of here. Overhead slash is actually what it's called. The doughy wrestler. What does that even mean? Okay, let's go. Oh, there's the wrestler moves. There's the wrestler privilege. I drill stabbed. I hate this stage. It gives so much food. I was going to say so much item, but that doesn't make sense. So it's so much food. You can activate a parasol drill while dashing and jumping. Nice. I'll talk about that in the parasol guide. Remember to fully extend all of the moves in the combo. To get the maximum possible damage. I probably could have killed the archer there if I extended the upbeat by a little bit more. It didn't matter anyway because I killed it just after that, but it would have been helpful playing against a real person because they would have escaped the second upbeat. Okay. Bomb and artist. We've got a top tier on our hands here. Now the question, of course, becomes what tier is sword in, and I'll make that decision in a moment. Well, not really making the decision, just sharing it. I already know what tier I'm going to put him in. Let's just finish him with that. Here's the triple one. Why is the staff chatty? Oh dear, the fighter guide's going to be really difficult. Since I don't know fighters' moves. That beam helped kill the staff. So the beam is helpful. And then we have Shadow Kirby. Why is join highlighted? I probably said this last time. I understand why Shadow's highlighted, but why join? What's so special about join? Anyway, against SK, I'm just going to do that. Oh, nice spot dodge. But you're going to fall into everything else because you're easy difficulty, aren't you? That is a thing sometimes. Oh, it doesn't even know the combos. How sad. See, I know the combos, Shadow Kirby, you don't. You're just trying to go for so many spin attacks. Why? Haven't used this move at all. Let's get the kill with it. Nice. What was my time? 5:27, that's a gold. Oh, nearly level 88. So, after all of that, the tier that I will put sword in is high tier. I think it has some really good tools, but its neutral tools aren't like as oppressive as artists, where it can just box you into the side and just start spamming neutral B. Sword can't do that, but Sword does have a ridiculous 40 damage combo that is easy to perform and is true on every member of the cast. So, And it also has a good neutral tool, not as good as Artist, but it is good, and a tool that can deal with high up opponents being up B that combos into its down B. So that's why I give Sword High tier. State your opinion in the comments if you want. And bye everyone. See you next time for more Kirby Fighters 2 guides. Goodbye.